So y'all kind of look like Drake having a bad week, man.
Yeah.
Look like he kind of having a bad week. Stores getting vandalized up where in London. You read up in London. Guess it was a recent shooting. Damn, man.
Y'all taking this too far, fans.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, at this point, it'd be speculative to say that it was anybody but that. But I mean, we speculating on that as well. Nobody knows. But we do know how heated this got between Drake fans and Kendrick fans. And there's a lot of people that love Kendrick. There's a lot of people that love Drake. Obviously, we know that because we get hit on both sides. We say one little thing and we get hate on both sides. So we understand it, man. You know, emotions are running high. Emotions are running real high. Man, this is just music, man. This is just music. Yep. Yes, it is hip hop. And yes, this is part of hip hop music. But come on, this is just, I mean, nobody knows. Nobody knows. It could be a Drake stan. It could be a Kendrick stan. Not even a Drake stan. It could just be somebody that I just misspoke there. Yeah, I think what happens is like some people like to clout chase. And they think if they do this, because some people are just so caught up in things that they feel like, oh, if I do this, I'll be accepted. You know, who knows? You know, it could be somebody that loves Kendrick. It could be somebody that don't like Drake. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are jealous of his success. So it could just be people he had beef with. Yeah. Nobody knows. Because this happened in Toronto. I'm going to tell you like this. I don't feel like anybody from the West Coast is going up to Toronto this early in the season, man. It'd have to be midsummer. It is too cold. Y'all don't even like the East Coast, man. You know, it's just too early, man. The summer's not here. They do not like to leave the West Coast. It's too cold. You ever go out there, they in hoodies right now. They in hoodies right now. You know, on the East Coast, man, we in shorts, T-shirts, and, you know, that's just how it is. Look, she in a hoodie. She in a hoodie. She from the West Coast. I'm from the East Coast. I'm in a tee. You heard? She cold right now. She cold. She freezing a little bones. But that being said, man, hopefully everybody's all right. I know that we heard that a security guard had got hit. And out there, obviously, security, they're not armed. They're not armed out there. So this security guard was probably doing his job. And then come to find out somewhere across the city or somewhere near that area, there was another shooting that occurred. There was another incident. So I don't know if they connected or not, but we're going to get into this. Yeah. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, thumbs up. Slap that red button. You ready?
Police confirming a shooting occurred outside the home of Canadian rapper Drake in Toronto. This happening overnight in the wake of an escalating beef between Drake and hip-hop star Kendrick Lamar. This is the scene outside of Drake's home in the city's Bridle Path neighborhood, courtesy of our CTV News chopper. Police say a man sustained serious injuries after a shooting outside that home and was taken to hospital. Police also say a suspect fled in a vehicle, but no description has been released. So far, there's no word on whether Drake was at home at the time of the shooting, but we understand from police that he has offered to fully cooperate with.
Wow, so his whole courtyard is a crime scene. You see all the tape? That's one big crime scene. All of that's a crime scene.
With them. Joining me now is Mark Mendelson. He is a former homicide detective, and he joins us now to discuss the developments in this case. As Mark, we're waiting for more word from police. Details are very scant right now. But what do you make of this shooting? This, for our viewers across the country, is known as the Bridle Path, this neighborhood. It's got a lot of mansions, but it's pretty open. It's not as though it's a gated area.
Yeah, and good morning, Marcia. You're right. It's not a gated area, but there are very, very large homes in that neighborhood. You know, and what goes along with large homes like that is a lot of security cameras and other security precautions that are taking place. And if you ever had the opportunity to drive past Drake's residence, you'll notice that there are gates and there are walls and there is sort of strategically placed trees, et cetera, to provide security. And there are also uniformed security guards at the residence. And it's my understanding from a source within Toronto Police that, in fact, it is a security guard who is the victim of the shooting who was working at the time. It was described to me as a drive-by shooting. And as you mentioned, there, the police have put out a suspect vehicle. So that's all we really know at this point. As
Oh,
you
so they did put out a suspect vehicle. So if you don't know what you're doing and you just be in a stand, I mean, they got your vehicle. I don't know what else they got, but I mean, how does this look to you?
It's just crazy. Like, to take it this far, like, I don't understand people.
I mean, I don't get why you would even try that. Like, these driveways are so long, never mind.
Especially, like, for a celebrity as big as Drake, like, security, like, cameras have to be everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I would figure. I don't see him being...
And
Yeah.
it seems like, and think about it, it's going to have night vision equipped with it too. So, yeah, I think they're going to close this pretty quick. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like the borders are more laxed when you go up towards north versus the southern borders. So who knows if it was a crossing of the border. But like I said, I don't feel like anybody's going out there from here. I think that was something that was done in Toronto.
Yeah.
I do. I think if anything was done, it was done out of Toronto.
There was already a lot of people from out that way that were making diss songs towards Drake and like threatening him and stuff. So
there you go, man. There's going to be a lot of avenues that's going to lead down. They're going to be chasing leads forever. So we're probably not going to get a lot of answers unless they find out who's the vehicle, if the person, use their own vehicle or not. I don't know, man. But that'd be kind of like,
I mean, if you're foolish, if you're foolish enough to do this, though, you foolish enough
kind of
to do
foolish.
anything,
I mean, we've seen this happen before, but hey.
As you fairly stated, we don't know if Drake is at home, if he's in the country, or wherever. And now what the police are going to be doing is looking at the motivation behind this shooting. Again, there's lots of security cameras in all kinds of homes around that area, lots of security guards in other homes as well, and patrols.
Oh, okay.
So they may have information of investigative value as well. But they'll be looking for the motivation. And of course, Marcia, in the backdrop of all of this is this sort of feud that's been going on, as you mentioned, with Lamar. In terms of who's dropping songs and who is disrespecting the other one. And as early as this morning, somebody actually went on Google Maps and re-tagged Drake's residence as Lamar's residence. So it's this feud going on. Now, whether this is all for clicks
That's crazy.
or for publicity, I mean, nobody knows at this point. But it really doesn't take anything more than somebody being offended by what they're seeing or reading to decide that they're going to take things into their own hands and commit this crime. And that's what the police will be looking at now. So it's very early on in the investigation. Lots of good security tape to look at. You have a living witness in this security guard that's been shot. And I'm sure that when he's able to speak, he will speak and he'll be interviewed by the police. And we'll have to go from there.
Okay, and I just want to say, Mark, this is unconfirmed that it was the security guard. We're still waiting to hear officially from police. We expect them to be scrumming, hopefully, with reporters outside of that scene shortly, very shortly. I do want to ask you how police investigate something like this when a high-profile celebrity is involved.
Well, they're going to look at the motivation, as I mentioned earlier. Were there other threats that were coming in throughout the night, whether by text message or online? They'll be scouring all the online postings to see.
That will be, I would honestly feel like that'll take decades. With everything that's online right now.
Oh, I know.
Do you really think they're going to be able to find that? That's like a needle in a haystack. But hey, man, these guys is... Who knows? You know what I mean? Because now they're going to have to obviously talk to Lamar. Mm-hmm. They're going to talk to his team. He's like, damn, man, like I was having a good run.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? I don't see what the benefit to him is.
No. I'm
jumping out the window like this because he's already number one with his albums and stuff like that.
He was trying to prove, if anything, the majority of proof is his lyrical skills, and plus, okay, all you guys care about is numbers. Let me show you what I could do. And he's been number one, number two. Yeah, he's been top 5. Like all his songs is in the top 5.
Yeah, all of his songs. I just don't see where it benefits him at all, or where he would. I just don't see the motivation in it. I don't see a motivation in it if you're on if it looks to the perceived by the public, it looks like you're winning. It looks like you're winning. Right now, it looks like, all the polls got him up. So I just don't see him doing something like this. I feel like it's a crazed fan pool. Who knows? Who knows?
That's what I feel.
Who knows? I mean, these fans, y'all get a little too into it, man. Y'all got to chill with it.
If anybody made any untoward or violent threats towards Drake or anybody that works for Drake or his residents, these are the things that they'll be looking at. They'll be scouring over the security tape to try and get a license plate and a description of that vehicle, and they'll be hunting down that vehicle as well. It may be stolen, it may not. We don't know. All of this is very early on. They'll be looking at the ballistics that remain at the scene, whether it's shell casings or if there's a bullet that's been retrieved from the victim or at the scene. They'll be looking at that, comparing that to other crimes that are out there now. So there's lots of steps to be taken. There's going to be interviews of Drake's staff and neighbors and canvassing of that nature. So it's going to take some time. This is not new. We have seen this not only in this city, but certainly in the United States, where there have been feuds between rappers who have filmed a video in somebody else's quote unquote territory, and the response has been violence. We've seen murders related to the industry and people who are involved in that genre of music, and we've seen a lot of murders in the States that have been related to that. So this is not new. But it is obviously upsetting, and it will be thoroughly investigated, I'm sure, by the police.
And I'm well aware that this next question is of a speculative nature, but we understand Drake is cooperating with police, but we don't know if he was there. The fact that he has made that outreach or they reached out to him, do you think, Mark, that he was at home at the time?
I have no idea. I just don't know about the travels of Drake. I'm too old, Marcia, to keep an eye on that.
No, it's funny.
But at the end of the day, he's going to have information of investigative value, whether he was in the home or whether he was in another country. And, and again, I'll go back to, has he been threatened in any way, either directly or indirectly, and from who? And what steps did they take? What steps did the security guards at the residence take? So by cooperating, I would expect him to cooperate. I'm quite sure the police reached out to him right away because he will have some answers to help fill some of the voids in this puzzle.
I want to ask you about security at the home, and you're right. If you were able to drive, if anyone has driven by, they would see that security was pretty tight. But clearly, Mark, this shows us that no security system is perfect.
No, absolutely not. I mean, if what I've been told is correct, that it was a drive-by shooting, there really is nothing preventative there. There's cars. It's an open road. There's cars able to drive back and forth all the time, and security guards in Canada are not armed. They are unarmed security guards, and you can have the best security systems in the world. You can have the best physical security in terms of gates and brick walls, things of that nature. But to be able to be proactive and prevent somebody from just driving by the house and opening fire, short of closing the road, there really is no solution.
Now, mind you, those are security guards. Those ain't like security that are unarmed. Those are security guards. They're not his actual security.
Yeah.
Because if it was his security, it would have went down totally different.
Definitely.
Could you see this investigation expanding to involve other law enforcement, or is this in the hands of Toronto Police solely?
Well, right now, the offense took place in Toronto, so they will have jurisdiction. They'll have carriage of the investigation. In the event that they have to reach out to other police services to follow up on threats or perceived threats, there'll be no hesitation from the police to reach out to whatever police service, wherever it may be in North America or in Europe. It doesn't really matter. There's always good cooperation. And you're right. They may have witnesses they need interviewed very quickly in wherever, LA or London or Paris. We don't know. But it's just a phone call away, and those interviews will be done.
See that? So we got L.A., London, Paris, all them places. The only thing is, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it was a fan? Do you guys think it's some beef Drake had? Because it seems like a lot of people. He said 20 versus 1. I think he realized. I don't think he realized how much he spoke that times 6. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it keeps doubling up. It just seems like a lot of people don't, are either jealous or don't like him.
Yeah.
Seems like he's got a lot of enemies out there.
Mm-hmm.
Got enemies. He ain't lying. He got a lot of enemies, man. So what do you think?
I think it could be. I feel like it could be a fan more than anything.
Yeah.
Just because, like, with the whole London thing that happened at his store, said they not like us, and then now this too. Like, it just feels like fans are taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
Or my second thing would be that somebody that don't like Drake is taking advantage of the
That's
situation.
crazy. All the way out in London, man. And he showed y'all love, man.
Mm-hmm.
He showed y'all.
With
It's like everywhere. It's like everywhere he shows love, it ends up like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but this is wild though.
This is crazy, man.
I do hope the security comes, like, is cool.
Yeah, hopefully he turns out all right, man. Prayers to his family, man. Because from what they're saying, yeah, he didn't pass from it or nothing, but he's got some, he's got some severe. I mean, come on, man. He got hit. I don't know how many times he got hit, but he got hit from what they're saying. So that being said, pull up in the comments.